Trying on sports when you're either in high school / secondary school, middle school, or even elementary / primary school can be really important. Rather if that's football, soccer, or I guess what I just said previously for those in different countries, baseball, volleyball, cricket for my Aussie audience, and of course the topic of this video, track and field. In my freshman year of high school, I really hadn't tried a sport before, and before you come drilling to the comments and tell me to get my big bag to a gym and put on deodorant, first of all, at the time I did sometimes hit the gym, and I did pretty decent at the gym, and secondly, I'm not the Redditor I used to be 3 years ago. It's safe to talk to me again because I wear cologne. It was like February, and at first I doubted myself about joining track, but since my older sibling did it, I figured I might as well give it a try and see where I would go. And little did I know, yeah, I might as well have run on the treadmill for 15 minutes every day because my coaches were more useless in my case than the send button on TikTok. The track season officially started, and keep in mind this was this year. Yes, I was a little freshman in the beginning of the Big 25. I know, I should have gotten into dropshipping like all those money gurus on YouTube that pop up at random times instead of being a fetus and
Not my fault, I'm autistic! No, I bad!
My bad, gang. Anyways, getting on to the point, I finally decided to hit the road, headed towards Sweet Home Alabama, as they all say, and this was when everyone started setting up for their events. Keep in mind, I wanted at the start of the season to run like Forrest Gump and do throwing. When it was my turn to sign for events I thought I would be interested in, these are the following events that were there. Throwing, discus, basically throwing, hurdles, sprinting, long distance. I think those are the only ones. If there are more, please tell me in the comments, I would like to know. Within those events, there were the 200 meters, 400 meters, all the meters up to 30 to 200 meters, or as I like to call it, the devious 2 mile. I don't know what the rest are. That's what I know, because like I said earlier, I think those are the only ones. The reason why I said I might as well run 15 minutes every day in the treadmill was because I really just did only cardio for the whole season, even though I also want to do throwing, but like I said, my coaches were useless in my case. The events I decided to choose to do were the 800 meter, 1600 meter, 3200 meter, and throwing. And guess what my bum coaches decided to keep me in? If you remember from earlier, I called the 2 mile devious, because it was. Yep, I basically said that they chose my big 180 pound bag to do the 2 mile. Now this video would be so short if I just talked about the 2 mile because that's basically all I did for the whole, well not for the whole season, but for the whole time I was there. If you remember from my past video, you remember that I quit track and field 75% through the season. The 2 mile was the reason why. So I'll talk about some more stuff that happened at the same time that I was in track and field, like the memes that were going around back then. Back then we all thought that every meme to come from, as they call it, a Minecraft movie was tough. Reason being because of Jack Black. Literally, I would wake up every day and scroll on Instagram reels seeing chicken jockey being spammed more than those spam callers from either across the country or the world, who would try to blow up your phone thinking your number is their relative. Just seeing memes like coming in hot and love the chicken was charming because it was like everybody was together and the world was at peace over the Minecraft movie. What does the Minecraft movie have to do with me being in track and field? I would sit or lay on the grass as I would wait for my only event, which was of course the stupid 2 mile, during those meets watching Instagram reels and YouTube. Those were the only sources of entertainment I had while in track and field because everyone I knew at track were just acquaintances to me, and I couldn't really talk to people as they were busy doing their own events, plus they had their own social groups, so I was really on my own for the whole season. I would have been fine during the whole season though if it wasn't for those coaches being more useless than Matt from Dora the Explorer. For a long distance, only one of the 2 coaches on our track team would run with us, and the way she trained us was completely stupid, and even I thought was ridiculous when I was still in track. She would tell us to run a certain distance, and when we were done, she would give us like 30-second breaks in between laps to recover. Keep in mind we were doing long distance, not sprinting, because when you sprint, you need all that energy and oxygen within a small time frame because your body uses all that energy while sprinting. But for long distance, it's just that you run for a long time. You need all that energy you can get for the amount of time that you're running for. Like in my instance, the devious 2 mile. In my mind, I'd always think to myself, Why is my coach giving us 30-second breaks instead of a whole minute at least? Because like I said, we did long distance, we weren't sprinters. We also would run across local businesses as a part of practice, and we would have to do multiple laps across those businesses, which like I mentioned, I am 180 pounds, and when I was in long distance, I would have to manage to run in a way that I can save my energy for later when I needed it. But that was no use, as everyone who was also doing long distance with me would pass me and I would be in the far back. Literally. Just imagine those movies where a pack of people would be running and you see that one guy that is trying to chase them, but he is in the way back. That was me. The reason why that was is because the people who did long distance with me were tall and skinny, which was unfair to me because now the coach was on my ass, telling me to hurry up while I'm trying to catch my breath.
But Moonman, why didn't you just ask the coaches to change your event?
Oh! Such a great idea. Wait, that's right. I did, bro. I constantly told my coaches to change my event. Just anything to not do the 2 mile. And I even asked way in advance. But do you want to know what the response always was? Sorry, every other event is full. You're still doing a 2 mile next meet. Oh boy, really? Are we dead ass, coach? Do I look like I can do the 2 mile? No! My body is the shape of that of a footballer, not a long distance runner. At least let me do throwing.
What do you mean you can't do the 2 mile? You just run.
Oh really, you think? I can do the 2 mile, I wasn't lazy. It's just during meets, most people run the 2 mile in like 10 to 12 minutes. Meanwhile, I can do it in like 13 to 14 minutes, which was still good for the average person. But it doesn't take a monkey to realize that I was still behind by a few minutes. Obviously, everyone who did long distance was tall and skinny, which gave me a big disadvantage because I would have to keep up with them, and that would take up all my energy and I would easily fall behind. Even if I had just started slow at first and gradually worked my way up, that wouldn't have worked either because, like I said, everyone who also did a 2 mile were tall, skinny, and had been doing long distance for years. So every meet I went to, I was always in last place. And these same coaches who would constantly deny me changing my event would constantly tell me to keep going, which of course you have to when you're a coach, but in my case that's useless. Everyone was already past the finish line while still on lap 5 out of 8, so there was no point in motivating me. I'm not saying that I wasn't motivated enough to do track, because I was. I just wasn't built for at least the 2 mile. I could have done like the 800 meters and maybe even the 1600 meters or the 1 mile, but the 2 mile I simply wasn't built for. Even if I was listening to those hard Baby No Money songs, I wasn't even coming close to at least second to last place. I was always last place. And what sucked too was that after each race, after I would finally complete the 2 mile, nobody, and I mean nobody, would congratulate me. Of course, people were busy doing their own things, but not even one person said, "Congrats, bro," most of the time. It was like that one time Moist Critical in his early college years when he jumped into a pool for free beer, but nobody tossed him a beer, and you watched as another person jumped into the pool and got free beer tossed at him. I made all that effort to complete a race for nothing? At least I got Jesus. He's a real homie. Am I right, twin, or am I right? Yeah, so obviously I felt like I was just there. A team member that existed there only to exist. Do his event and leave. At least I learned how to shop all on my own for the first time. And that's some important value that I had to know for the rest of my life, am I right? The very last track meet I went to, during one of my laps around the track, I started to feel a pain in my kidney area. And if you remember from my other video, this is the part I'm talking about. And that restricted me from running faster. I still kept a good pace, but I felt like if I kept running longer, that would eventually just collapse. Luckily though, I was on one of my last laps, so I didn't have to run for a very long time, but I still felt like something was hurting inside of me. When I finished my race, I sat down and I just sat there in the track for a solid few minutes, just recovering from my laps. Of course, as usual, nobody congratulated me, so I just sat there while people were doing their business. One thing I did enjoy about track and field was the chill bus rides home, because it would be dark outside looking like those backgrounds you would see in the first 3D Plants vs. Zombie game. I feel like just looking out the window, seeing the sky be almost completely dark, seeing cars pass by the bus, seeing the lights of buildings, and just listening to music like The Color Violet by Tory Lanez, or Roxanne by Arizona Zervas, or even Nigeria Falls by The Weeknd after a track meet is the most relaxing feeling, right next to finally leaving school for summer break. One time during a track meet, I was in the public bathroom for most of it because I had to charge my phone, and as I left the bathroom once I was done charging my phone, I saw the people I was supposed to run the 2 mile with on their last laps, and I went to ask the coaches what was going on. And do you want to know what they said when I told them the reason why I missed my event? I don't remember fully what they said to me, but I think they said something like, if you're so worried about your damn phone, then why don't you leave it in your bag? Or something like that. Okay, so if there's an emergency that requires me to call somebody for help, or if someone needs to call me urgently, I guess I can't. Bro, are we dead ass? And sometimes they'll be telling me things like, whenever you're on sidelines, don't put your earbuds in because you missed your event. Even though I'd only put one earbud in my ear just so I can hear people, but I guess even one earbud is illegal for these people. What took the last straw out of me for track and field was that one time I tried to ask my coaches if I could switch to 2 mile for anything else besides the 2 mile. And of course they said the same thing, but this time my coaches decided to not only not put me out at the 2 mile, but this time they decided to also add the 800 meters on top of that. Yeah, so my interests in throwing were out of the window because I was already like 75% through the season, and championship finals were literally like a few weeks away by the time I was actually able to practice for throwing, because I'm actually being dead ass. My coaches let me do throwing and practice well into the season. Like at that point, it's like putting a casual gamer into a championship cash cup with professional gamers who are 90% through the competition and are about to wrap up the games within 4 days. So with me struggling with the 2 mile already, I decided that enough was enough, and that was when I quit. I left track and field 75% through the season, feeling proud about myself because even though I still only did cardio for pretty much all the season, not being able to do anything else because of my bum coaches, I still felt good about doing it, and looking back on it, I definitely made some good progress, but if I were to join track and field again, which is a maybe, I'm just hoping they won't force me to do the 2 mile again, because I didn't fully complete a season. So, yeah, that's my rant on track and field. That's just my experience of it so far, as I've only been in it for 1 season, and I still don't really know much about it. If you're interested in joining track and field, I'd say go ahead. Just don't pick any event that you're either wouldn't do so well in or your coaches wouldn't let you leave, because that was my case sadly. But I ain't feeling bad or any regret for what I did, as I still consider that progress. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great day or night. Peace!
Oh my god, Alex.
Me and my Glock one and the same, cause we both got extensions. And don't you try to give me your heart, cause I got bad intentions. I'm really a good girl at heart, I just make bad decisions.